All right, Tom. Been a while since we last saw you. It's been 4 months since New York.
Yep.
How are you?
Doing all right, yeah. Doing good, thanks, yeah. Nice to see you, as always.
Yeah, always. What have you been doing lately? I wish we knew more, because you would be training, but...
I've been training.
Yeah. There's no fight lined up, of course, so...
Nope, no fight lined up right now.
Or is there?
But I've actually... It's funny that you interviewed me today, of all days, because I've got a meeting with the UFC tonight. So finally, hopefully, we're going to get some kind of conclusion tonight.
Of course, the Jon Jones fight is the fight we all want to see. I had a bunch of prep, but then this morning I saw a bunch of stuff online in the media. Jones asked for 6 months once the fight gets locked in. Have you seen that?
I've seen it, but I don't know how true it is. I don't know. I don't really believe anything that I read anymore, to be honest, because actually Dana himself told me to not believe anything that you read in the media, because sometimes they just, putting out stuff that might not be true, or someone's misheard something or whatever. So I just don't read it anymore. Tonight, I'll speak to him directly and I'll find out for sure.
Perfect timing for that. Back in London, you fought here a bunch of times the last couple of years. Great memories, some lesser memories, but you made up for that. What comes to mind first when you think of fighting in London?
Oh, it's really weird, because this is the first time that I've been to like a fight week in London and that I'm not fighting somebody. We're obviously in a similar area to like where the fight hotel is. I've been around the Fighters Hotel because my friend's fighting on Saturday. And it's just really weird just to be around it and not actually be fighting. I absolutely love the O2 Arena. I think any English guy wants to fight, any English fighter wants to fight in the O2 Arena, especially because I've headlined it 3 times. And I just feel so lucky and privileged to be able to do that. And it's weird to, I mean, I don't want to say I've outgrown that, but it's weird just to be at a level above now and to not be fighting, but still be a part of fight week. And like I said, my friend and teammate's fighting this Saturday, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. You talked about you've outgrown it, although if you keep a hold of the belt, 2 years ago, Leon Edwards, Kamaru Usman, incredible event here in London. You could headline a pay-per-view, bring it back home.
That's it. I don't want to say that I've outgrown the O2 or England or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that I've kind of I'm on the pay-per-view cards now as opposed to the fight night cards. So absolutely, like if we can do something at the O2 for a pay-per-view event, that would be incredible.
Yep, no, I agree 100%. Big fight this weekend for Leon Edwards. Yeah. After losing his belt in Manchester last year, he really seemed to struggle in that fight. It didn't seem like the same Leon we saw before. Didn't have the quickness. He let Belal wrestle him early on, in my opinion. It seemed like the fight time was affecting him. He spoke out about it. His team spoke out about it. You obviously had no issues with it, though, fighting Curtis Blades and walking through him. It
was a quick fight, so it's hard to say. Yeah. But if you had asked me, do I want to do it again, the answer would be no, because it's not very nice fighting at like 5 a.m. I wouldn't want to do it again, definitely not. It's difficult to say because everybody's different. And like I say, my fight was over in a minute, so it's difficult to say if it affected me or not, really. But we would have seen if the fight would have gone longer, I guess, but I don't really want to do that again.
Yeah, because for 2 weeks, I think, you pretty much...
last 2 weeks. Yeah.
Adjusted to the time, and I did the same thing in Manchester years before that. It wasn't too pleasant.
No.
For the co-main event, we got Jan Blachowicz, Carl Zulberg, big fight, especially with this timing. Pereira lost his belt. That actually could favor you, because that leaves out that option for Alex, I think, fighting Jon Jones. For the winner of the fight this Saturday, do you think they could, with a big win, put themselves in line, or do you think that Pereira deserves a shot at the belt right away?
I personally think Pereira should get an instant rematch, but that's just my personal opinion. And I don't know, it's a really interesting fight, actually, because I'm a big fan of Jan's. I think he's an awesome guy as well, like outside the octagon. Carlos Ulberg, I don't know too much about him, but what I've seen, he's frigging dangerous as hell. And Jan is now, I believe, like early 40s, and he's been off for like 2 or 3 years. So I'm wondering how he's going to look when he comes back. I'll always wish Jan the best of luck because I'm a big fan of his. I think he's an awesome guy. But I think if either of them gets a big, scary knockout, that might eclipse a rematch. But you never know. I do think that Pereira deserves it, and I think that Pereira should get it. But you just never know. Hype, a lot of the time, overshadows other things. So if somebody gets like a friggin' spinning wheel kick to the face knockout, they might get it above Pereira, but I do think Pereira should get it.
I don't see Jan Blachowicz doing that.
No, same. Same.
It's definitely interesting because his last 2 fights were Ankalaev and Pereira, and he fought both of those guys to a decision, and those fights could have gone his way easily, but very interesting, of course. I want to talk to you about 314 also because Paddy is on that card, and the 3 years ago, you fought Volkov here, and he fought his second fight in the UFC, and a lot of people were saying he's only in the UFC right now because he talks the talk, but we're not sure if he walks the walk. But the way he has developed, it's incredible. And people really look at him as a legitimate contender now.
You know what? I think as someone who's a fan of the sport, and I like to think that I've got a good eye for the sport, but maybe
100%.
not. But,
I agree.
I think it would be silly to say that Paddy has not had favourable matchups, because I think he definitely has. But I think that Paddy's improving a lot. I think that people underestimate him a lot because of the way he acts outside the octagon, the way he looks and stuff, and his style's a bit, you know, it's unorthodox to watch. That being said, yeah, I think he's had some favourable matchups here and there, but I think people are massively overlooking Paddy. I honestly think that Paddy can have a title run for real, and I think that he's going to beat Michael Chandler as well. I think he's going to surprise a lot of people. And I watched Chandler up close fighting Charles Oliveira. I was in New York. I watched it cage side, and I think when you watch a fight cage side and you watch it on the TV, it's completely different. I watched it cage side, and I think Paddy's going to knock him out. Honestly, I do. I think most people would look at it and think Paddy's going to get the submission if he wins, but I honestly think Paddy's going to knock him out.
So you actually train in the Netherlands quite a bit.
Yeah.
Have you been there lately?
Well, I actually was there this year, but it wasn't for training.
Okay.
But I was there just before Christmas, just before New York, actually. I did a little bit of my training to be the backup fighter over there.
Okay, so it wasn't for training. What do you do in the Netherlands if you aren't training with Team Rico?
Oh, would you want to hear the full story? Because it's boring. No, I was supposed to fly to California. Long story short, missed the flight, missed about 5 other flights because it got cancelled, and then got stuck in Amsterdam for a couple of days. So it wasn't a great experience. Nothing fun.
It wasn't a great experience?
Nothing fun happened.
Well, you make the best of it, though, because there's a lot of things to do in Amsterdam, right?
Oh, no, not for me.
No?
No, I just was pissed off sitting in the hotel room.
Okay. You go there and train with Rico a lot. I'm curious, because there's been rumors of him going MMA now, because he's been a champ so long.
Yeah.
When you guys train, is it just striking, or you guys mix it up a little bit?
Just striking.
Yeah?
Just striking.
Because one of the rumors is him and Ngannou that came out. I think he was on the MMA Hour with Helwani. He said it's like halfway done. He was positive about it. If that fight happens, how do you see that going?
What's the rules? MMA or?
I think it's MMA, yeah. It should be MMA. That's where I'm interested in.
I know Rico's done a bit of grappling, but I've never actually seen him grapple, so it would be unfair to give any kind of prediction in his grappling skills, because I don't know. But I think anytime you put a pair of gloves on Rico and tell him that he's allowed to punch and kick somebody, he's got a chance of winning.
It's going to hurt.
I think that they should do, I said this to him, I think they should do a kickboxing fight or a boxing fight with MMA gloves. I think it's the perfect in-between for him. But I think if they're doing MMA rules, I think that the edge obviously would slightly go to Ngannou, because it is his sport. But like I said, I wouldn't count Rico out in any regard. He's a big, strong, athletic guy who's been training like martial arts forever. I'm sure he could switch over to grappling really easily. So I would say that Rico's still got a chance. Whereas if they had a kickboxing fight, I think Rico would. It'd be easy for him. Yeah,
it makes total sense. Last question. If not John Jones this year, I go through the ranks.
Yeah.
I heard rumors of Cyril Gane and Almeida fighting. The winner of that fight could be interesting. Either of those guys could be interesting. But then for the belt, of course, if the Jones fight doesn't happen. The other name that comes up is Volkov. It's been 3 years. He's looked really good. What do you think of his last fight? And do you agree that those guys are options if the Jones fight doesn't happen?
Yeah, so those two are fighting now. They've gone and...
Well, that's a
Almeida.
rumor I heard.
All right,
So
okay.
it'd be an interesting fight. I'm not sure if it's true. Either of those guys would be an interesting fight for you, I think, because you've beat most of the other guys, and a lot of the other guys aren't ready to challenge you for the belt.
Yep. Same as always. I'll fight anybody. Just send the option my way, and I will say yes. I'm pretty easygoing in that regard. I'm here to fight people. I'm not really here to do... I mean, we've been doing a bit of media stuff recently, but that's only because I'm not fighting. Like, give me a fight, I will say yes. And that's it. The opponents regardless.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, man.